All right, welcome back, everybody. It's about 25 minutes before 8 here on the program. Yesterday, the government, in partnership with the National Youth Development Agency, launched the 2015 Youth Month program. This year's theme is the youth moving South Africa forward. This comes at a time when, according to Trading Economics, the unemployment rate in South Africa increased to 26.4% in the first quarter of this year, and more than 50% of those are young people. We are now joined by Yeshan Pillay. He is the chairperson of the National Development Agency. It's always good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Very good morning.
All right, so it's a big month for the youth here in South Africa. I mean, it's Youth Month. All focus is on them. But these statistics that are coming out are a bit frightening when it comes to the unemployment rate. What can you, as the Development Agency, do to assist?
Well, I think we've realized that youth unemployment is public enemy number one. It's the most pressing matter facing young people. But not only in South Africa, it's actually a global challenge. There are countries as far abroad as Spain and Greece, for example, who have higher youth unemployment rates than we do. But it remains quite a critical issue, and one of the approaches we've taken is a multi-pronged approach. A need for more radical policies on the one hand, combined with a more collective effort from all stakeholders, not just government, but the private sector, civil society, and young people themselves, so that we develop, on the one hand, a cohort of successful young entrepreneurs who can become job creators. But on the other hand, we also change the value system, which remains skewed towards creating more job seekers rather than job creators.
Yeah.
And so it's a combination of both education-related interventions with entrepreneurship-related support.
When we look back at what Youth Month is actually about, and I mean, it's you guys did your launch in Soweto at the Hector Peterson Memorial, and we take our mind back to the 1976 uprisings. Do we still look at that as what Youth Month is all about? Or when we look at the problems facing the youth in this day and age, has our shift changed in focus?
Well, it's important to reflect, I think, on the sacrifices made by the generation of 1976, the heroes and the heroines who have come before us, and really reflect on, all the commitments and what they stood for, and all that they achieved in their lifetime, and really pay tribute to them during this month of June. History is important, and we need to always remember and recall our history.
Indeed.
And I think it's also important that we use this month of June to reflect on our dark past and shape a brighter future, because there are lessons that we can learn from the past. Young people of the past took leadership of the country. They were at the forefront of the struggle. And if we're going to struggle for the issues of the day, be it youth employment, be it education and skills development, we need to be at the forefront as the youth. And those are some of the lessons I think we can take from generations of the past.
Talk us through the launch yesterday. I mean, what were some of the things that were focused on, that were spoken about?
Well, yesterday we launched Youth Month 2015 under the theme Youth Moving South Africa Forward. The call was made really that we as the youth need to start playing a more leading role in the development of our own lives, our communities and the country as a whole. But we also took the country through some of the programs that will unfold during this month. Some very exciting programs, including a My History educational tour, in which we'll be exposing young people to the 1976 youth uprisings. But we'll also be launching a number of local youth offices to add to the already existing 180 local youth offices that we have in the country. And the President will officially launch a youth development program, a very exciting program for young entrepreneurs on the 16th of June as we commemorate National Youth Day. And some of the other activities are both provincial and local, including the launch of a very exciting partnership with the University of Johannesburg, which is a research-driven youth development institute. So we begin to understand more about some of the factors driving the issues facing young people of today.
Yeah, let's talk about funding, because you talk about entrepreneurs, and we need entrepreneurs in this country. It's what is the backbone of any economy, and a thriving country as well. Now, there's something called the Solomon Mahlangu Bursary Fund. Talk more about this. What is this all about?
This was a program launched by President Jacob Zuma in March 2014. And the aim of the Solomon Mahlangu Scholarship Fund was really to promote academic excellence.
Yeah.
It was to encourage, especially youth who are poor and mostly from rural areas, to provide them with some kind of support so that as they excel, they can access a scholarship fund of this nature and be able to access higher education. We do know that there are currently a number of private sector and state entities offering bursaries and scholarships, but we can never have enough, and we need to do more for young people to access especially higher education in the country. So we believe that funds of this nature complement the already existing bouquet of support available for young people to access higher education.
Yeah, so that's the higher education angle through the Solomon Mahlangu Fund. But let's talk about the NYDA and getting back to my point about entrepreneurs and needing funds. And this is where the National Youth Development Agency comes in, and you've still got so many people complaining that they struggle to get funds through the development agency. What are you doing to try and assist the youth and to try and get rid of this backlog?
The biggest challenge is one of demand versus supply. We are doing a lot, but the demand for especially NYDA products and services has really skyrocketed in the last few years. We've become victims of our own success simply because we have the NYDA, for example, business grant program, which offers microfinance grants between 1,000 to 100,000 rand to aspiring young entrepreneurs who would like to start small and grow their businesses. Unfortunately, this fund is limited, and in the last financial year, we were able to support 1,043 youth, micro and small youth-owned enterprises with almost 29 million rand.
Okay.
It's a lot, but it's not enough. We had many more applications for that fund in particular, close to 5,000 applications in fact. So we've tried to look at what role can the private sector play, what role can civil society and non-governmental organizations play, because the challenge is such a huge challenge that we are facing that we need all stakeholders to come to the party. And so you have, for example, the 2.7 billion rand loan fund between the NYDA, IDC and CIFA, where these two other sister state entities are providing access to finance for more medium and large scale youth-owned enterprises, so that we begin to promote a culture of youth entrepreneurship in the country. So it's a combination of both financial and non-financial business development support that is available to young people. And the biggest challenge really has been the demand is far outstripping the supply for that, but also the accessibility of that funding is a challenge.
All right. Well, Yeshimpele, thanks so much for talking to us. We'll certainly keep up with you during this Youth Month and see exactly what it is you're doing, as well as the different departments that are working on this. And you saw Buti Manamela, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, here on Morning Live yesterday, also talking about the youth and their support for the youth coming from the Presidency. Thank you again.
Thanks very much.
All right, let's take a break. When we return, we're going to talk more about this issue of burials and graves being reused. And there's been a lot of reaction to this and many disputing these claims. So stay tuned for that. It should be an interesting one.